Hello, everybody. All right, in this video, I'm going to go over the characteristics of a cube root function from looking at a graph. But this is part 2, so make sure you've already watched part 1 before you watch this next one. All right, just like what I said in the title, the parent function of this graph is going to be a cube root function. So it's going to be f of x equals the cube root of x. Now, to find the domain in my range, I have to look at the arrows on both ends of this graph, pay attention to which quadrant it falls in, and label them. So looking on the left side, this arrow is in the second quadrant. And so since it's in the second quadrant, I'm going to label it as negative infinity, comma, positive infinity. And then the arrow on the right side is in the fourth quadrant. And so since it's in the fourth quadrant, I'm going to label it as positive infinity, comma, negative infinity. Now, to find my domain, I am going to circle the x values in each order pair and ask myself, which one's the smallest x value and which one's the largest one? The smallest one is negative infinity and the largest one is infinity. So my domain will be from negative infinity to positive infinity. In other words, all real numbers. For my range, I am going to put a triangle around my y values in each order pair and ask myself the same question. What's the smallest y value and what's the largest y value? The smallest y value is negative infinity and the largest y value is positive infinity. So my range will be negative infinity to positive infinity. In other words, all real numbers. Now, to find the x-intercept, I need to look at the x-axis and find where the graph crosses over the x-axis. As you can see, it crosses over it at this point. And since it's already been labeled for me, my x-intercept will be negative 4, 0. To find my y-intercept, I'll look at the y-axis and see where it crosses over. And as you can see, it crosses at that point. It's been labeled for me, so it'll be 0, negative 2.442. Now, to find the end behavior, I'm going to look at the ends of the graph and describe the behavior. So let's start with the left side. All I'm doing is paying attention to the order pair that I've already labeled and describing what my x and my y values are doing. My x is approaching negative infinity, and my y is approaching positive infinity. Now let's look at the right side, the arrow over here on the right side. We're going to do the same thing. The x is approaching positive infinity, and the y is approaching negative infinity. And that's it.